Hi everyone, I'm Scott Hope. Welcome to highlights of our coverage from Mecum Monterey from the Hyatt Regency Monterey Hotel and Spa. On the block right now, a 1966 Shelby 427 Cobra Roadster, CSX 3000 series, and a bid at the moment of $1.1 million.
260 of the factory-built, which was the coil spring street trim 427s were built, but only 56 in this color, this acrylic green.
Yep, it is.
It is. That's our
first $1 million car here at Mecum Monterey. Here's a 57 Roadster version of the 300 SL. And you mentioned they were being produced at the same time back in this particular year, 1957.
Yeah, so this is cool that, we talked about that. Now we're seeing a back-to-back. How about this color, this ivory, almost a pale yellow, but yet look at the contrast against that red interior. Same powertrain as the coupe. That remained unchanged, that 3-liter inline 6 with the 4-speed manual transmission.
Sold for $1.125 million.
When that long ago, you wouldn't see a Roadster trade for going money, but those days are over.
Here's a 1930 Packard 734 Speedster, and another stunning car, John.
Well, yeah, in an interesting body style, one of only 19 known Packard 734 Speedsters even known to exist. Because what you've got is a large luxury car that's built totally for style and no pretense for practicality at all.
$1.25 million for the Packard from 1930. And we move to the Porsche Carrera GT from 2005.
What an incredible car. And it's really a car that Porsche was kind of a late decision to make something that would compete on the world stage. Because they had an engine that they had developed for racing and never went racing with it. That V10, 5.7 liters, 605 horsepower. Old school 6-speed manual transmission. Under 3,000 original miles on the odometer. That seal gray, by the way, such a striking color. Reserve's
off. Reserve is off. They got it worked out.
All righty.
How about that?
$1,575,000. Sold.
1967 L88 JK with a gigantic asterisk, and I mean that in a good way, a significant L88.
Oh, incredible. We talked about the L88 so much, just how special that engine is, how well it did in racing, not intended for street use, although a few people did. And the debut year, 1967 built, 20 were built, 10 convertibles, 10 coupes. This was the first one built, only one in black.
And with that bid, the reserve is off. $2.1 million for the very first Corvette L88. This is from 1967. It's a 330 GTS. And a rare Ferrari at that, John.
Oh, man. Another top shelf, aspirational Ferrari. It's won a bunch of awards by the FCA. That's the National Ferrari Club, not the FCA of Lohr, the Fiat Chrysler Corporation. Only 99 were built, Scott. You mentioned rare. It's a big, beefy 4-liter V12 with a 5-speed manual transmission. Got those very distinctive Onza exhaust systems.
And this one gavels for $2.3 million. The reaction on that gentleman's face, that is fantastic. 2003 Ferrari Enzo.
Well, the Enzo, only 400 of these were built, and 111 were sent here to the U.S. The rest are scattered around the world. Now, this one, unlike a lot of them, it's been driven. I'm going to see how that kind of impacts its price, guys. But almost 17,000 miles on this. Mid-engine, the big V12, 651 horsepower, 6 liters. the F1 6-speed automated sequential manual gearbox, and Rosso Corsa, the signature Ferrari color.
And the bidder in the house will take it home for $2.6 million. 1967 275 GTB4, a Ferrari Classiche certified car, multiple FCA Platinum Award winner, John, and we're beginning to see why here.
Yeah, this is a heavy hitter all the way. 300 horsepower out of that single overhead cam V12, displacing 3.3 liters. Now, by this time period, they'd gone from a 4-speed to a 5-speed, and they went to a transaxle. So the engine was in the front, the transmission and rear end is literally located in the rear of the car. It's got Dunlop 4-wheel disc brakes. So once again, Ferrari pushing that technology envelope beyond what most of the other high-performance exotic cars were doing in this time period.
And there it is. The hammer falls. And a 67 Ferrari 275 GTB4 sells for $2.8 million. The arrival of the 1969 Dodge Hemi Daytona. That is F8, dark green metallic, green interior, but it's all about the power plant, John, and the options on this car.
Indeed. These are rare to begin with. Only 22 Hemi Daytona 4-speeds were even built. This one, so many options, including, we mentioned the 4-speed, but it's also got the Super Track Pack, which includes the 410 gears and that big Dana 60 rear end. It's got power driver's seat. It's got the optional console, and all that stuff is odd because it adds weight. And typically, you'd think that, okay, you're going to have a high-performance car with a 410 gear with the track pack. You want to keep the weight out of it to go fast down the quarter mile. But I think somebody wanted one. They just checked all the boxes. And here we are all these years later. We get to enjoy it. Is it going to hit a couple $1 million? It could.
This crowd is so into it. They know that we've just seen a $3 million bid on an unbelievable car, and that's world record territory for sure.
$3,100,000 once, $3,100,000 twice.
Give a big round of applause to the backup bid, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way the live auction process works. Ladies and gentlemen,
well, I think that's going to wrap it up, everyone.
It's sold for
and it's sold for $3 million. One of the most astonishing Mecum moments in this auction's history, and certainly here in Monterey. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to that time of the day when we watch the arrival of quite possibly the halo car of this entire event. We've mentioned it before. 1969 Ford GT40, one of only 10 factory lightweights near the end of the production run of the GT40s. Bill Stevens.
What a matrix of history surrounds this car. And in 1968 and 1969, cars just like this, they won Le Mans after being, turkeys back in 1964. And in fact, Jackie Oliver, who won the race in 1968, that car won again in 69, the same tub. One of the very few times the same car won that race 2 years in a row. So like I said, the historical significance of a car like this is you can't even measure it.
Last call, and it is still for sale. Reserve is on.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, indeed.
Are you kidding me?
No. Jimmy Landis, Mecum's lead auctioneer, with a funny little fooling trick for us all.
Oh, I took the bait.
Me too.
My goodness. $7,150,000. And with that sale of over $7 million, that Ford GT lightweight becomes the most expensive car ever to sell here at Mecum Monterey, and is number 2 all-time in the history of Mecum Auctions. That will wrap up this edition of Mecum Accelerated. I'm Scott Hoke. Thanks so much for watching. So long, everyone.